What up? What up? San Miguel. They finally let me go live on my phone, which is dope, man. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I haven't been on for a while. I just wanted to come on here just to say a few things. I will be dropping a video soon, a new video. It's going to be big. It's going to be about the ICGJC Orlando and some of the members that are a part or were a part of this organization up until recently. Mainly one member who has been charged with sexual trafficking of a minor. So y'all stay tuned for that. It's going to be a big video. But yeah, man, I wanted to also talk about a few other things that I've been seeing in the news, you know, with the high crime rate that's going on all throughout the world. There's a lot of shootings, record shootings that you see all throughout, you know, Philly, Chicago, New York City, Oakland, all these cities, man, where you see predominantly minorities are the ones that are committing majority of the crime. Even though African Americans are 13% of the population, the records show, the stats show that they commit over 50% of the crime, which is insane. And what's crazy is that you have to cut that number in half because it's mostly the men. In every demographic, it's mostly men that commit violent crimes. So you have to cut that number in half. It's really like 6 or 7% of the population are committing more than half of the violent crimes, homicides, all that shit. So you see this going on, and although you see this going on, you still have people, these woke people, these Israelites and these pro-black groups, Black Lives Matter, talking about that the issue is white supremacy and the police that's out here killing our people and all this crap. I have a friend who's from Chicago. I mean, like, this cat, like every 6 months, this cat is coming to me, telling me another one of his friends got killed and shot, you know, shot and killed. And even though that happens, that's the reality of things, in his mind, he thinks that the issue is Dylan Roof, the cops, and all this shit that's like a minor issue in the community. These are not the big issues that's going on. We need police. White supremacists are like, they are an issue, but they're not an issue in the hood. That's not what's really holding us back. You know, there's Edwin Kelly. What's good, bro? You from Chicago? Yeah, Chicago is the 28th worst city as far as the crime, but because it's so it's heavily populated, and it's like just a small area where most of the crime is going on. It's why it's 28th. If it was a bigger city, and like if the crime was going out like rampant throughout all of the city, it would be high up. But like Philly is like one of the worst. But yeah, you have issues like that going on, and yet you got these so-called leaders, these people that proclaim to be leaders out in the Black Hebrew Israelite community and BLM, and they make it seem as if these issues are not the issues of our community, like it's not coming from us. They put it off somewhere else. You always see this. So I was talking about my friend. I remember St. Basil from the ICGJC, whatever his damn Hebrew name is, was talking about Jacob Blake and all this shit, and put the black fist up, repping Black Lives Matter, you know, and like you talk about a Jacob Blake, like that's the issue in the community. Jacob Blake is the issue in the community. These are people that are not afraid of cops with guns, and they talking about, well, we need more community leaders. We don't need cops. So what is a community? What is a cop? A cop is a community leader, but they want less guns. And what they're saying is that they want to give the criminals leeway, is what it is. This social justice movement is not benefiting the community. It's benefiting the criminals, the prison reform and all of that. You got a lot of these prisoners that are being let out early, and what do? They commit another crime while they're out when they should have been in jail. You see this happening a lot all throughout the news. That it's repeat offenders. These are usually the issues. You know, and what's another story I saw recently, where they talk about how a lot of these young kids, because the demographic is really between like 17 to like 35. You know, even though we say they, you know, as African Americans commit over 50% of the crime, that's the truth. It's and then 13% of the population. It's really just mostly the males, and then within the males, it's the 17 to like 35-year-olds that commit like 80% of that crime. And they be repeat offenders and all of that. You see some of these older cats in the hood be looking like they young. It's like they never grow up. They're in their second childhood, like Nas said. You know, and this shit continues on. And what the social justice, police reform, and all this shit, all this is doing is helping out the criminals. It's criminal justice reform. They want less prisons. They want less police. How does this help the crime in the area? I don't understand this. This just pissed me off because I saw a story recently. I posted it on my Instagram. If y'all want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram ID is or my Instagram handle is San Mig _. If you want to look me up on there, I post a lot of these news reports that they don't post in these liberal news stations like CNN and MSNBC and all this shit. They don't like talking about these things. You know, you had a school shooting in Houston where it was a 17-year-old black kid, and this shit didn't even go viral like that. Like, you didn't see that many people talking about it because there's an echo chamber out here and they want you to focus on just one thing. But this school shooting, like, they let this cat out. He made bail. He literally made bail. This is what the criminal justice reform is doing. They letting people make bail that just finished shooting up a school, you know? And they wanted to say, they made all type of excuses for this cat. Oh, he was bullied. The parents were saying that this was an incident. People don't know the story. It's like, that doesn't excuse none of this shit. There's so many excuses out here for criminals when the color fits. That's one big issue, man, that I'm seeing. It's like these criminals are being excused, man, and they're being allowed to do certain shit. What's the other story here that there was well, you know, like we was talking about the young kids, 17 to 35. I mean, 35-year-old ain't young, but you got a lot of young kids, man. They be 17 years old, 18 years old, barely getting out of high school, and they going right to jail. There's a culture out here that says that this shit is cool. You get fucking, social currency, for doing certain things because, you tough. Like, this is something that you constantly hear in the community, man, in the hood. They like to brag about how tough the neighborhood is and shit. Like, yeah, man, Brooklyn Outlaw was good. Like, we the victims, right? And, this is like Malcolm X. I was thinking about Malcolm X was saying, well, the chickens are coming home to roost. Kind of like, oh, this is what you get for slavery and all this shit. And it's like, that's going back to the 60s and 70s. People want to be Malcolm X today and shit. It's like, yo, you missed that boat, man. You're not an activist. You're not a political revolutionary. Like, chill with that shit. The problem is there's not enough people at the homes. There's like the parents, a single parent household is insane. It's like 70 to 80% in the black community having children out of wedlock. There's no father at the home. There's nobody for the kids to look up to. So who do they look up to? Damn, Lil Wayne and whatever, all these other artists that talk about nothing but nonsense. And they think that that's cool. So these kids don't know any better. They don't have nobody telling them what's right. Nobody that they can look up to. They see teachers. They don't care about teachers, man. They think teachers are corny and all of that. And these people and then the people that be in political power, they be saying, well, there's not enough money for after school programs. Like, because these kids aren't in after school programs, they decide, well, let me go shoot up some shit today. That's not how it works, man. It's not because there's no money for after school programs. It's not because none of that shit. There's other problems. There's way bigger problems out here than there's not enough money for after school programs and all that crap, man. But yeah, man, there's a lot of shit I want to talk about. I was actually just testing this to see if it would let me go live on my phone, and it did, which is fucking great. I don't have to be confined to my computer now when I want to go live. But yeah, man, I'm gonna end it at that, man. I just wanted to get on here real quick and talk about these things. I'm gonna talk about more of this shit because there's a lot of issues that's not being addressed out here. It has nothing to do with no damn after school funding or no electives or nothing like that where kids would go, we don't have nothing to do, so we go out and shoot people and rob people and deal drugs. That's not what people do, man. People are doing this because they think it's cool, because they think that, you know, this gives them some type of social status. But yeah, man, you know, I appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm gonna end it at that. Y'all be safe. Peace.